Hello and welcome to Unacademy. The opposition is mulling, considering a motion to remove the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. While this may not happen because the opposition lacks numbers in the Lok Sabha, nevertheless, this development makes this topic speaker even more relevant for the civil services examination. And in this video, we will discuss this topic strictly according to the requirements of this examination. Nothing more, nothing less. So let's get started, but first up, let's look at this image on the screen. This has been picked up from today's The Hindu newspaper, page number 1. It says opposition is considering a no confidence motion to remove Lok Sabha Speaker Mr. Om Birla. Technically, this is incorrect. A no confidence motion is introduced against the Council of Ministers headed by the Prime Minister. When it comes to the removal of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, we call it a motion. So it is not technically called a no confidence motion. That's something that you have to keep in mind. Similarly, when you read newspapers, you will come across some terms which may not be legally correct. For example, impeachment of a judge, impeachment of the Chief Election Commissioner. Technically, these terms are incorrect because the term impeachment is used only and only for the President of India. Every other constitutional functionary can be removed, whether it is Vice President, judges, CEC, CAG, so on and so forth. That is why when you read newspapers, you have to keep in mind that you are studying these newspapers, reading them strictly according to the requirements of this examination. And that is why, if you wish to prepare for the civil services examination strictly according to the requirements of the exam, whether it is the static syllabus or current affairs or test series, then you can consider joining Unacademy, which has been the learner's first choice preparing in online medium for the civil services examination. And now is the ideal time because now Unacademy has slashed its Unacademy subscription fee for UPSC programs by 50%. Since today is the last date of this offer, let me take one extra minute and explain to you what are the features of this offering. If you buy for 9 months, you get 3 months extra. For that, you need to pay 19,999. Similarly, for 18 months, this is going to be your subscription fee. For 24 months, this is going to be your subscription fee. For 3 years, this is the subscription fee. But if you ask me, you don't need to buy the subscription if you are planning 2027 attempt. So unless and until you are in your first year of college, please don't buy the subscription program. These two would be ideally suited for you. And if you check our website, you take a look at various plans that we have to offer. If the website at any point in time is showing you a different price, then use this code IAS English and automatically the lowest subscription fee will be displayed on the screen. Let's get started and let's look at Article 93 of the Constitution. Constitution says the House of the People, which is the Lok Sabha, shall, and this term shall makes it mandatory, binding, that the House of the Lok Sabha shall elect or choose 2 of its members, one as the Speaker and the other as the Deputy Speaker. So both Speaker as well as the Deputy Speaker's post is a constitutional post. This word shall makes it binding, mandatory to have both Speaker as well as Deputy Speaker. And when the Constitution says choose, one implication is that there need not be necessarily an election to elect the Speaker or the Deputy Speaker. Because more often than not, the Speaker is unanimously chosen by the Lok Sabha, by the members of the Lok Sabha. But if at all there is a need to conduct election for the post of the Speaker, then the House of the People, which is the Lok Sabha, will vote, and whoever gets simple majority, which is more than half of the members present and voting, that particular individual will be elected as the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So Article 93 talks about the constitutional post of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. But when it comes to the rules, the Lok Sabha rules, the rules say that the election of the Speaker shall be held on such date as the President may fix. And once the President fixes the date, the Secretary General of the Lok Sabha shall send to every member notice of this date, that on this particular date we will have the election of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. Who will fix the date of the election of the Deputy Speaker? The date is fixed by the Speaker. So the date of the election of the Speaker is fixed by the President according to the rules, and the date of the election of the Deputy Speaker is fixed by the Speaker according to these rules. But now, Article 94 of the Constitution, it talks about something else. Once the Speaker has been elected, the Speaker will continue to remain in office, but there may arise a vacancy. Vacancy can be because of if the Speaker is no longer the member of the House of the People. What if the Speaker is disqualified? And on what grounds can the Speaker be disqualified? Just like any other ground for an MP. There is a change in the nature of citizenship. You have been adjudged insolvent. You are mentally unsound. And that's how the Speaker can be disqualified. Can the Speaker be disqualified on the grounds of defection under anti-defection law? The answer is a yes. How? You let me know in the comment section. But the point is, once the Speaker is elected, normally the Speaker holds office during the life of the Lok Sabha and even beyond that. And that's something that I'm going to tell you in a moment. But there may arise a vacancy. Vacancy can be if the Speaker ceases to be the member of the Lok Sabha. And if you're no longer the member of the Lok Sabha, you are no longer the Speaker either. Because a Lok Sabha Speaker has to be necessarily the member of the Lok Sabha. Or the Speaker may resign. How will the Speaker resign? Speaker will resign by submitting his resignation to the Deputy Speaker. But now we do not have a Deputy Speaker. Since 2019, we do not have a Deputy Speaker of the Lok Sabha. So if at all Speaker has to resign, who will he submit his resignation to? He will submit his resignation to the Secretary General of the Lok Sabha, will communicate his resignation to the Secretary General of Lok Sabha, who will then inform the Lok Sabha that there has been a vacancy because the Speaker has resigned. Or the Speaker may also be removed. I told you normally there is no election for the post of the Speaker because the Lok Sabha unanimously chooses a member as the Speaker. What if there is a need for the election? Any candidate who gets simple majority gets elected as the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. But if you are to be removed from your office, for that the resolution has to be passed by Lok Sabha by effective majority. What type of majority? Effective majority. Some books erroneously mention absolute majority, which is absolutely wrong. The Speaker, if at all, is elected by simple majority, and the removal is done by effective majority, which means majority of all the then members of the House. Which means if we exclude the vacancies, whatever else is the number left, more than half of that number, that's the majority required to remove the Speaker. But now the point is, Constitution further says that you have to give 14-day notice to the Speaker. So if you want to remove the Speaker, list the charges against the Speaker and give him 14-day notice. After that, there will be voting in the House of the People, in the Lok Sabha, and if the motion is passed by effective majority, the Speaker is removed from his office. But at the same time, the term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Once the 5-year term is over, Lok Sabha is dissolved, which means all the members of the Lok Sabha, they no longer are the MPs of the Lok Sabha. They shall cease to be the members of the Lok Sabha. Speaker does not resign. Speaker resigns at the end. If this is the 18th Lok Sabha, in 2029, the 18th Lok Sabha would be dissolved. A new Lok Sabha will be convened. When that new Lok Sabha, the 19th Lok Sabha, will meet for the first time, on the morning of that day, the Speaker of the 18th Lok Sabha will submit the resignation. Is this a convention? Is this a parliamentary convention? No, this is something which is mentioned in the Constitution. Provided whenever the House of the People is dissolved, the Speaker shall not vacate his office until immediately before the first meeting of the House of the People after the dissolution. But if the Speaker is elected by simple majority, can be removed if a motion is passed by effective majority, but on what grounds? These grounds are not mentioned in the Constitution. These grounds are not mentioned in the rules of business and procedure of the Lok Sabha either. But the rules say there has to be something tangible allegation against the Speaker. It should not be defamatory. So you can't list allegations against the Speaker which are of the tone of defamatory. What are the allegations against Mr. Om Birla, on the basis of which the opposition is mulling to introduce a motion to remove the Speaker? One allegation is that leader of the opposition, Shri Rahul Gandhi, he was not allowed to quote a yet to be published memoir of the former army chief when he was talking about the clash with China. His mic was switched off according to the allegations. 8 opposition members were suspended. Action was not taken against the ruling MP, the MP belonging to the party in power, when he made some allegedly disparaging remarks against former prime ministers. Similarly, what has happened? Perhaps in a rare occurrence, motion of thanks on President was passed without customary reply by the Prime Minister. Because when the President of India addressed both houses of the Indian Parliament at the inauguration of the budget session, then there is a discussion, vote of thanks on President's address. Then there is voting. After the discussion is over, the Prime Minister by convention speaks and thanks the President for addressing both houses of the Parliament. But this time this did not happen. Why? Because according to the Speaker, he requested the Prime Minister don't come. Why? Because he had some credible information that women MPs belonging to the opposition political parties would create chaos, ruckus, pandemonium in the Parliament and may also attack the Prime Minister. It is because of these allegations that the opposition is considering a motion to remove the Speaker of the Lok Sabha. But I told you, for the removal, effective majority is required, which means more than half of the total strength of the House, minus the vacancies, all the then members of the House. Since the opposition lacks numbers, in all likelihood, this motion will fail. But nevertheless, this topic becomes important for your examination. When the Speaker is to be removed from the office, will the Speaker preside over the Lok Sabha? No. Normally what happens? Speaker presides over Lok Sabha, but he does not vote. He only has something what is known as the casting vote. Which means, if at all, we are discussing a particular bill on which the opposition and the ruling party, the party in power, have equal strength. Which means on this particular bill, there are 200 MPs who are in favor, 200 MPs who are against. Now what will happen to this bill? This bill is under a deadlock. To resolve this deadlock, the Speaker will have a casting vote. The Speaker will either vote in favor or against this bill just to ensure its passage. So normally Speaker does not vote in the first instance. The Speaker votes in case there is a tie, in case there is equality of votes. But now if you want to bring in a motion to remove the Speaker will not preside over Lok Sabha. Deputy Speaker will preside. If there is no Deputy Speaker, someone else who is chosen by the House will preside over Lok Sabha. And once that individual presides over Lok Sabha, then the Speaker will sit just like any other MP of the Lok Sabha. The Speaker has the right to speak. The Speaker has the right to vote in the first instance in this case. Why? Because you are like an ordinary member of the Lok Sabha. If a motion has been introduced against you and you are to be removed or you are sought to be removed, you can vote in the first instance, but not in case there is a tie. Have there been instances in the past where the opposition have introduced motion to remove the speaker? Yes. G.V. Mavlankar in 1951, Sardar Hukum Singh in 1966, Balram Jakhar in 1987, these have been the past instances. But now the point is, unless and until you know how UPSC frames questions on this topic, you will not be in a position to prepare for this examination. Look at the question on your screen. With reference to the Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. As per the rules of procedure and conduct of business in Lok Sabha, the election of the Deputy Speaker shall be held on such date as the Speaker may fix. The date of the election of the Speaker is fixed by President. The date of the election of the Deputy Speaker is fixed by the Speaker. There is a mandatory provision that the election of the candidate as Deputy Speaker of Lok Sabha shall be from either the principal opposition party or the ruling party. This is not a mandatory provision. There is a convention, however, that the Speaker belongs to the party in power or the ruling coalition, and the Deputy Speaker invariably belongs to the opposition. The Deputy Speaker has the same power as the Speaker while presiding over the sitting of the House, and no appeal lies against his rulings. This is correct. The well-established parliamentary practice regarding the appointment of the Deputy Speaker is that the motion is moved by the Speaker and duly seconded by the Prime Minister. This is not mentioned in the rules. So 1 and 3, A becomes the right answer. This is how UPSC frames questions. Another question. With reference to the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, consider the following statements. While any resolution for the removal of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha is under consideration, he shall not preside, right? Because that would be violation of the principles of the natural justice. You can't be the judge in your own case. He shall not have the right to speak. You have the right to speak. He shall not be entitled to vote on the resolution in the first instance. No, you are entitled to vote in the first instance, but you cannot vote if there is a tie. Which means which of the above statements are correct? A, 1 only is the right answer. And the same topic becomes relevant for the mains exam. Because if the allegation is that the Speaker is biased, partisan in his approach, the Speaker continues to belong to the ruling party, which gave him the ticket to contest elections. Now, how can we ensure independence of the office of the Speaker? Maybe we need to borrow a practice from United Kingdom. And the practice is called once a Speaker, always a Speaker. Which means in case of House of Commons in UK, when the Speaker is elected, he resigns from the party. And then he continues to remain the Speaker unless and until he decides to resign. Even if he wants to contest the next election, opposition or other political parties, they let him win unopposed, uncontested. This is to ensure that once a Speaker, always a Speaker. The Speaker will not be dependent upon the party to give him ticket so that he is re-elected to the House. Once a Speaker, always a Speaker. This was the question asked in one of the mains examination. Do you think this practice should be adopted to impart impartiality to the office of the Speaker of the Lok Sabha? What could be its implications for the robust functioning of parliamentary business in India? Do let me know in the comment section, and thank you for watching this lecture. If this lecture has been of some help for you, do not forget to press the like button and subscribe to our channel if you haven't yet. Thank you for watching.